Hey everyone, quick Terraria news video. We've got a brand new state of the game, and I think you lot are going to really like this one. So, as always, let's jump into it. Beginning then with what Realogic have to say. Terraria 1.4.5, we're in the end game now. The Realogic team sat down this past month for one last passing over the list of items remaining. Some things were deferred and others prioritized, all in the effort to arrive at something we've been looking forward to for quite a while. An internal launch window. Up until this point, the timing has been somewhat fluid based on additional content needs and unexpected bugs and such. We're not quite ready to share that timeline publicly just yet, but we have informed all of our internal partners, DR Studios, etc., of the plan so that we can work together to make this happen. More than ever before with 1.4.5, this is truly the final push. Speaking of the release window of 1.4.5, we're hoping for and planning on this being a global launch. What that means is that we're aiming to release on all platforms at or around the same time. That includes PC, console, mobile, China Mobile, etc. We're considering this somewhat of a dry run for the post-crossplay world, which is something we hope to bring to fruition in very short order once 1.4.5 is out and all the hotfixes are done. This requires a lot of coordination and planning for things like localization and submissions. As mentioned above, the process is well underway. As for spoilers this month, the team thought it might be fun to take a look at some of the unsung work that goes into these updates. Bug fixes, tweaks, and changes that may not have a lot of visual flash and sizzle, but certainly impact the Terraria experience. Here, they quote ticket 2230 better convey the existence of player defense multipliers in Expert/Master plus Worlds. The issue at play here is that player defense in Expert and Master plus Worlds is subject to defense values being multiplied by 1.5 and 2.0 respectively. But this information is never conveyed to the player, resulting in players mistakenly believing defense becomes less and less valuable as the world difficulty increases. This leads to players making suboptimal build decisions. However, just increasing the defense number can also create confusion, so there needs to be some way to communicate both the increase effect and the fact that it's tied to a given difficulty level. Lots of ideas and discussions then occur. Do you increase the numbers? Do you do a hover over tooltip? Maybe a graphic element, etc. until we arrive at a final decision shown below. In 1.4.5, the defense shield shape and color changes along with providing an explanation for how much damage is mitigated for that level of defense on a given difficulty. There are countless little things like the above that go into each update alongside the bugs that we all know and hate being squashed underfoot. Speaking of bugs, nearly 900 bugs have been closed during the development process of 1.4.5. Again, we're in the final push now. The content list is locked in, the bug and ticket list is locked in, and the internal timeline is set. We are hopeful that we'll be able to share something more publicly soon. As for that internal deadline, the end game, I think it's great news that Realogic has reached a point where they're comfortable with the update enough to say, okay, those ideas, maybe we can defer those to the future. Maybe those weren't the best ideas, but we've got all of this content and all of these things that we're going to close up. Like, they're at that point now, because the way it works with Realogic, or at least as I see it, from like covering these news videos for 14 years, they go into an update with like a broad idea. But as they're making the update just grows and grows and grows. And that's because as they're replaying the game and replaying the game, they're thinking of new things, they're seeing what the community is saying, and it's this snowball, essentially, that just keeps rolling and rolling and rolling. The term is feature creep, although that has a bit of a negative connotation. It's probably negative for Realogic, because they're like, okay, this update's getting a little bit out of hand. But even when Realogic say, we're aiming to get this out next year, you know, that doesn't actually mean next year. If it finishes next year, great news. But until they put that, like, stopper, until they turn off the water, the flow, it's still going. it's still going, but they've reached that point now. So I think all of you can breathe a sigh of relief, like this really is the end game. Moving on to console and mobile, DR Studios wrote, "It's been a fun month indeed, working with Relogic towards the internal deadline for Terraria 1.4.5 while also preparing for additional work that will go into ensuring a smooth launch across console, mobile, and the world. Don't think that we've forgotten about crossplay either, as plans are underway to try and get that out to everyone as soon as possible. We're also working on a few other ideas for improvements down the line, but more on that later. For now, let's have a quick peek at another of those amazing furniture sets coming your way soon. Here's a look at that. As I always say, I'm not a master builder, but as a clothier connoisseur, I can appreciate this. I think it looks very good. As for additional spoilers, because I usually have one or two, I did notice something in the banner for the state of the game. First off, and I can't remember if this was shown in the past or not, so please forgive me, the painting that's inspired by the r/place project that we all worked on back in 2024, that is a painting in the update. I imagine it'll probably be sold by the clothier again. And then on the right, I noticed this camera, this camcorder. I don't think this has been shown before. I do have a prediction for what it is. I think it's going to trigger the film noir filter that's tied to the Heroics vanity set. That's my guess. That's what I think it does. That's it for today, though. Thank you all for watching. We are so close now. If you haven't already, make sure to get subscribed if you do want to stay up to date with all things Terraria. But that's it for today. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.